So let's introduce all the parts to the panel track. First, you will have the rod. The rod usually comes in two pieces, and two pieces are extendable. So you can see here, these are extendable, and you'll see on the edge of the rod there will be a hole. This is the indicator hole to indicate this is the side. This is the outer edge of the rod. Same thing with the other end. You can see that there is a hole right there. Now, the next thing you'll see in your package is the slider stack. This entire stack is clipped together with the red clip. Once you remove this, you'll be able to slide the sliders apart. However, during installation, you want to keep the slider together with the clip. That way you won't slide around everywhere. That will be much easier to install. The next items are the weights. These weights hangs off of the end of the panels, and they have a end cap at the end, which you can remove by popping up the top and then removing it. And here we go. And this actually can be very difficult to do so. And here we go. So now, and here you can see there is a little slot in the weights where you can slot the panels into. Next, and since this is a four slider panel track, it comes with 4 pieces of weights. Now, along with the panel track, you also get brackets. These brackets are dual-use brackets. These brackets can be used for ceiling mount or wall mount, and then we'll demonstrate how to do wall mount and ceiling mount using these brackets. So you should, the number of brackets you receive is dependent on the size of the rod. Usually the more sliders, the longer the rod, and the longer the rod, the more brackets you will receive. And here are 2 end caps. These end caps goes onto the side of the panel track, and you would have to install them based on whether it is the in or the outer end cap. You could very faintly see there are writings on the cap to indicate which is the inner or the outer rod. Obviously, there are screws, drywall anchors, nothing special there. You might also receive, or actually, depending on your purchase, you might also receive the windproofing clips. These clips goes on the end of the weights to help to keep the blinds from separating or from being blown into disarray by wind, and these will keep the weights and the panels in place. All right, so how do we install this? The first thing that you have to do is to install the slider stack onto the rod. And to do so, let me move everything on the side. Let's put this away. Let's put the weights aside. All right, the first step is always to install the panel stack onto the rod. And be mindful of this, since the rod is 2 pieces, you always want to install, at least the instruction will always tell you to install on the outer rod. The stack should be installed into the outer rod, basically the wider one. Now, let's put this in focus. Here's the outer rod. Now, there are 2 ends to the stack. The wheel end, which is the front end, along with the insert for the baton, will go into the rod. So here you can see that I could slide the wheels into the rod. Now here you will see a clip, a metal clip on these what we call the locking mechanisms. These clip has to be open. You must be able to see the grooves in the clips to be able to slide the clips into the rod. Now, if you find it difficult to slide the lips of the rod into the grooves, you might want to loosen it. And to loosen the clip, and to do so, you have to remove the red clip. And here you'll reveal a locking screw. These locking screw, you can loosen it to increase the gap of the locking mechanism, and thus allow you to slide it into the rod much easier. here. Let me replace the clip. Keep it stable. Slide in the slider stack. Make sure both ends, make sure both the locking screws are in. And then here, what you want to do is insert. After that, you want to insert your outer end cap. And the outer end cap goes into the end right here. Now, here, make sure you loosen the screw on the outer end cap. And here's a little tab where you can put your finger on it and press it. You will open up a slit in the outer end cap to allow you to slide the lip of the rod into the gap between the metal piece and the plastic piece. When you press that, and you might have to squeeze the rod a little bit to insert the end cap. And once you insert it, you want to lock it in place with a screwdriver. Now, once you have the end cap in there, you want to line up the edge of the slider with the rod, and take out the clip to slide all of the sliders apart and keep the last slider in place. Here you'll reveal two locking screws. These locking screws, when you screw them in, you'll lock the last slider in place. This is where your panels will return to. So basically, in this example, we have a 24-inch slider panels, sliders, which actually holds a 24-inch panels, and you will stack to basically at this side of the rod. Now here, once you slide in there, this is locked in place, no longer be able to move. And here you can see the slider in action. So here it will separate out into separate panels. And once that's done, replace your clip so it doesn't slide around when you're installing it. The next step is you want to put in the clip to the other side, not the clip, you want to put the end cap to the other side of your rod. Here, again, make sure the screw is loose, press on the little tab, make sure it pops open, and then you can slide the end cap in there. Sometimes you need to squeeze the rod a little bit, work it in there. Once you work it in, lock in the screw. Like this, and done. Okay, there you go. Sometimes you need a little more. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes it will ride up, so you need to press it down and alright. This is alright, so that's good. Now we have the rod assembly complete. So now next thing you need to do is to measure out where you want to install it on your window. Now we'll use this table as if it's the wall or basically the window. Now, most people will want the curtain to stack. Before the window. So imagine your window will be right here. This will be a wall. So when all the panel blinds stack, you'll stack onto the wall, revealing the entire window. And to do so, first you'll be using our wall brackets. We'll do a wall installation. Now, to install the wall bracket, first you have to loosen the locking screw on the bracket. Loosen it enough so you can move the clip aside. The reason you want to do that because you will reveal two holes for you to actually mount this onto the wall. What you want to do, the two places you want to mark on the wall is the top of the top of these mounting hole, and then the bottom of the bottom hole. So when you measure, you want to make sure you use a pencil or pen or whatever to mark it right here, and mark it on the bottom right here. So now in the instructions, when you mount, make sure you measure 2 to 4 inches from the end of the rod, and that will be your first place to. That will be basically the edge, the right or leftmost brackets, you want to mount one here. The next one you want to mount is at least the next center bracket you want to mount is at least 2 inches away from the front of the sliders, probably somewhere around there. So once you have everything measured out, make sure there's 2 to 4 inches on the edge. Make sure it's 2 inches away from the center, and then obviously the last one is out of frame, but it's at the very end of the other side. Okay, so once you have the measure out, you want to measure it. You want to do a pilot hole. Whether you're depending on whether you are screwing into stud or drywall. If you are using if you are mounting onto drywall, it's a 3/16 pilot hole. For if it's to stud, it's 1/16 pilot hole. And then it comes with hardware, drywall anchor, and screws. Now, how to use them is pretty self-explanatory. If you don't know, please do look it up. Once you have it mounted, the first thing what you want to do is that since we loosen it, so now this is moving everywhere. First, you want to make sure you tighten it just enough so that it holds the clip into place, but you don't want to tighten it all the way. Now, and also turn it back straight. Now, here you can see there's some movement in the projection of the bracket. Make sure also you determine how far you want to mount from the wall. Usually the actual projection is on our data sheet or is on the website. Feel free to consult our website for the available projections. And here, just mount it enough so that it won't move around, but it's still loose. Now, once you do that once you mount for all of your brackets onto the wall, and everything's mounted, everything's tight, the next thing you want to do is to mount the rod onto the bracket. Now, this is kind of the tricky part. When the way the clip is designed is that the clip will actually fit into the side. You can actually roll the rod into the clip by putting one of the arm of the bracket into the groove of the rod. And what you want to do is you want to turn it, assuming if you're looking from the top of the installation, you can turn this into the rod. You can turn the rod into the clip, so now it's holding the rod, holding a rod like such. So you can see now it's almost like 2 finger pinching the rod. Once you have that installed, once you've done this for all of the bracket, then you tighten the screw until all the way tight, and that way you will keep the clip will keep the rod in place. Okay, so there you go. Now, if you were to do a ceiling mount, what you want to do is instead of using the angle iron at this part, all you have to do is unscrew disassemble the entire bracket, and all you need to do is to mount just the clip. All you need to do is just mount just this clip onto the ceiling. Oops. Now this clip onto the ceiling, and you now have a ceiling mount where you can just mount this piece onto the ceiling, and now you have a clip, that ceiling mount clip. Now make sure, if you don't want to see the clip for your installation, make sure the screw is facing the window. like this. Assuming this is a wall, you'll make sure when you make sure when mounted, the screw is facing the window, and that way, for the installation, you will not see this clip is less visible for your installation. All right. So now you have your rod mounted onto the wall, right? The next step after that is to insert your panels. Now here's the panel has a gate, the plastic piece that you can lift up, and this can be tight. So what you want to do is push really hard, and you can open up a gate on the panel sliders. And to better demonstrate it, I will disassemble this really quick. Actually, yeah, I'll just, here, let me move this, disassemble it. So now you can see, you can open up a gate onto the slider and allow you to insert your panels. Now your panels are sold separately and packaged separately, so everybody would look different. But all of them will have a liner which allows you to insert into the slots. Now, oops, there we go. Once you insert the liner into the slots, push down onto the gate, and you'll be locked in place. Now, what you want to do is you want to install the last liner first, the last one first, and install last one, and then install forward. Basically, you want to install the last panel and then to the first panel. And once you've done that, it'll just might be much easier that way. And once you've done that, you want to push all the gate into place. Now, on the other end of your, and we're getting near the end, on the other end of your panel blinds, you will install the weights. And what you want to do is you want to remove just one of the end caps on the weights, and this can be a little bit stiff. And once you remove it, there's a slot for you to insert the liner of the blinds. And once you insert it, all you need is pinch the weight a little bit and reattach the end cap and push down in there, and push. Once you push it all the way in, push down, and you'll lock the end cap in place. Now, sometimes it comes with these windproof clips. For windproof clips, the way that is installed, once you have all of your weights attached to your liner, then it's best to install your windproof clips then. And to install it here, just for demonstration, what you want to do, if it is stacked like such, this is the first and this is the last, first blind, last blind. For the first blind, remove the end cap for the first weight. Remove both caps for the second weight, and remove both caps for the third weight. Remove the first cap for the last weight. So here you can see, and what you want to do is install, here you can see there's only 3 sets of the windproof clips, because all you need to do is install the spacers to the right hand side and the clips to the left hand side. And once you do that, here, let me quickly assemble this for you. But once you have it assembled, here you can see that you want to put the second rod into the first one's clip, slide it in, put the third rod into second one's clip, and then put the last piece into the third one's clip. There you have a stack that look like this. This is basically what your weights will look like when you have it assembled properly. Okay, and obviously each one of them goes onto one of your blinds. All right, and that's it for today's instruction manual on how to install Raw Desyne's panel track. Thank you very much, and talk to you next. See you guys next time.